Now, I realise that most newspapers exist to troll the population, the old "if it bleeds, it leads" mantra, etc., kicking off the day with stories to get us all talking, reading, clicking and commentating. So it was no surprise that this morning's papers delivered yet another glorious dose of dear God. A woman called Patricia Chalmers was transferring her daughter Esme's sportswear from her school bag to the washing machine when she came across a note from Esme's teacher addressed to someone called Lex Chalmers. Curious, concerned and somewhat suspicious about this mistake, having noticed that Esme had started to dress in baggy hoodies and jeans and cut her hair into a short crop, she phoned the school to see what was up and to be told that it was just a simple error by the receptionist. But knowing that her daughter and knowing that she suffered with depression and anxiety and is on the autistic spectrum, she made a further and more formal inquiry seeking clarification that the school were calling her daughter by her actual name, Esme. The school left it 24 hours before getting back to let Patricia know that they had socially transitioned Esme, Patricia's daughter, into Lex, who had no particular gender whatsoever and was now using the they-them pronouns. They didn't even bother to consult with Esme's mother because their actions were in line with the school's new diversity, equity and inclusion policy, my favourite 3 words. Patricia was absolutely gobsmacked. This is just one of an ever-increasing number of similar cases where often neurodivergent or autistic young people or those suffering from mental health conditions have been groomed by schools during the most vulnerable years of their life into dispensing with reality and replacing it with fantasy. In other cases, parents have been reported to social services for daring to take issue with these indoctrination facilities formerly used to teach and care for our kids in loco parentis. When did we go from the school having to phone a parent to ask permission to give the child some Calpol, to the school not phoning the parent to let them know that Jack had decided he was actually going to be Jill from now on, and the parent's views didn't come into it whatsoever? To me, utter madness. So, what is this attack on parents and the family more broadly all about? Why is the state, via its deranged RSE and PSHE curriculum plans, pushing a very narrow ideological narrative onto children and in the process undermining that crucial relationship of trust between parent and child? Now look, I get that all families are different and there's no such thing as the perfect one. Some people have horrible families, some people don't even have families. But the family and parents exist for a reason, and study after study reveals that it's the best place for kids to grow and be guided in love and have the most likely chance at a fulfilling life. And I also get that kids need to hear lots of different views and ideas in order to work their way through the joys and sufferings that life will throw at them. But why such heavy emphasis on this singular narrative of diversity, equity and inclusion and LGBTQ++ LMNOP stuff? It's everywhere. It's on street signs, zebra crossings, posters, flags, ATM screens, supermarkets, insurance companies, car dealerships and now classrooms. Why? I'll tell you why. Because the family, imperfect and broken as many are, along with religion, often is the last line of defence against full state control over you and your life. Dads and mums pass on to their children wisdoms and wrongs they learn from their parents before them. Like evolution, each parent takes from their own childhood experience and tries to improve the experience for when they have kids of their own. It's how individuals are made. Individuals. Kids take in so much in their early years to form their character, and a huge amount of that is from their mum and their dad, which is unique to every child and makes every child unique. Kids grow, they make friends, they fall in love for the first time, they get hormonal and grumpy for a bit, and then they come out the other side as adults, ready to start the whole wonderful conundrum over again. Life, in all its rich tapestry. Every family is as different as all the children in it. And that is powerful. Values differ hugely between families, but it is how individuals are made and communities are formed and how nations are built. Individuals with different opinions coming together to express themselves, which is sadly rather inconvenient for the state, which, to justify its very existence, relies on convincing people it needs not just to exist, but to grow ever larger. That's what's so egregious about this secretive, sneaking hand forcing its way into the family unit and tearing it apart. If you can't trust your parents, then who can you trust? You can trust us, says the state. In England, some switched-on parents still have the right to remove their kids from all of this diversity, equity and inclusion, gender ideology, mono-narrative. But in Wales, they have no such rights. As a judge ruled on the 22nd of December last year against parents who didn't want their kids sexualised as they saw it at such a young age. So in Wales, the state has become the ultimate arbiter over children's lives, superseding parents. Those of us who still believe in the primary role of parents and the broader family in our children's upbringings would be good to wake up to what is being hammered into our kids' heads whilst we're at work under the guise of kindness and inclusion. Because if every child is being taught the same thing day after day, year after year, our kids won't grow up to be individuals. They will grow up to become servants of the state.